Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays Enter the Gungeon, where we haven't accomplished anything, we haven't done any meme runs, you know what I mean? We haven't, I did a turbo rainbow daisuke run yesterday, but on the other hand, we have had like some of the most solid runs we've ever had. Yo, Zilla's shotgun is very good, and also Robot's right hand, and then we also have a dog. Hello, my friend. It's a very, very good start. Hold on. I got my... I don't know if anybody else has the same bad desk setup I have. It's my own fault. My desk is huge. I have one of those huge mouse pads you're supposed to get if you're Shroud. And then I've got my keyboard positioned in such a way that I can only use like a third of the mouse pad. But then I can't move the keyboard over that much because... my Logitech G29 steering wheel is there. I need that for F1. Okay? You wouldn't understand, Mom. It has force feedback. Regardless, you know, last episode we got 6 keys on the rat fight. What can you do on the on this episode? Get 6 keys twice. That's what you do. It's like Aristotle said, you know? We are what we consistently do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. If you wanna be with me, baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle. You gotta rub me the right way. How many chests are we getting here? This is crazy talk. What we would love to see, dream scenario, a key beggar with a skeleton or an AK-47 would actually take this run to, like, potentially being overpowered on the very first floor. Yo! I don't know if you had anything to do with that, dog, but... well, unlikely to see a key beggar, but that's okay. You know, settle in! We got a long Gungeon episode going on today. Well, probably a long episode. You know, if you're laying in bed right now, trying to fall asleep, I understand. Take a deep breath, you know. Start counting the ins and outs on your breathing, you know. Deep breaths 1, deep breaths 2, etc., etc. I was like... I've been very blessed for sleep recently. I mean, like, on a slightly longer term, you probably heard me talk, you know, when I came back from Japan, it kind of... It's not a huge problem, like, it doesn't grossly affect your quality of life. But I went through some sleep issues for probably like 2 weeks. You know, for like 7 days, I was getting really bad sleep because I was jet lagged. And then for like another 7 days, it was like once every second or third day I would have a bad sleep. Just takes the body a little while to adjust. That's what I think, like, you ever watch a movie and then it takes place in like the olden times? They get off a boat wherever they were, you know, we're taking a voyage like across the Atlantic or something, and they're so fresh. I used to think that was BS. Then I realized it's not BS. Jet lag exists probably because of the fact that you get from Vancouver to Tokyo in 9 hours. Whereas previously, if you wanted to go from Vancouver to Tokyo, it would take you like a 3-week Pacific Ocean crossing. So it's probably, you had a little bit more time to adjust. There we go. To the zones as you were going. Anyway, what I was gonna say is I've been blessed with sleep recently. Last night I was, you know, I go to bed roughly the same time every night, as I've probably mentioned ad nauseum. Sometimes you go to bed, you watch a 30-minute episode of something on the television, and by the time it ends, you gotta make a decision. Do I load up something new? Or do I just, you know, try to fall asleep right now? Last night was the dream situation where I fell asleep before that episode of television ended. I could feel my eyelids getting heavy. I don't know what it is, dude. I don't think it's a character flaw, because I know that there's, like, a lot of people out here that share the exact same sort of weird compulsion that I have with these true crime slash, you know, like drug-related television programs. There's something about, like, a man wearing a Hotline Miami mask with a distorted voice being like, hey, if you mess around here, you might lose your life. My brain is just like, dreamland. I have no idea what it is, why, what's gone wrong for me cognitively, but it's like as soon as I hear a man who was forced into a life of drug dealing start to talk about the dangers of you know, selling on the streets, I'm like, time to get a nice relaxing snooze. Pardon me, it's still a little phlegm in the lungs. Not that much though. So we're very key rich. Here's what you do. You crack open blue chest. Okay, Molly launcher is not that bad early. I don't think we're gonna buy anything from the cursed, not cursed, what, like alien salesman? I don't know. Bow is pretty terrible. And then we got 2 keys that we will use for, well, you know what, we should maybe blank the shop real quick. Okay, we got 2 keys we'll use for the oubliette, and we'll just bust up these brown chests, and we should be good to go. Well, that's not very helpful. What was he barking at? What were you barking at? Hold on. Hold on. Legitimately, I thought there might be like a wallmonger or something in here. Okay, you know, you stay diligent there, you never know. That was very strange. Maybe it was because I petted him or I shot at him. I don't know. Beats me, dude. Either way, I'm gonna open my door here, but I gotta be very careful. It is 29 degrees Celsius in the room right now. It's too hot, obviously. I mean, I think we should use Robot's right hand. I actually think it's better than all of our other guns. But Zilla's shotgun did not impress me as much as I thought it would. I think Zilla's shotgun is an awesome room clearer. And you know what? Actually, if that's the case, why don't we use it as a room clearer? And then we can use Robot's right hand against the boss if we want to. I mean, the boss is actually easier than the rooms for the most part, because we fought it so many times, we know its patterns, etc., etc. I think that's a fair assessment for the situation. Now, it's not particularly ammo-rich, but yeah, this seems appropriate. Hopefully we'll get some ammo as well. I also watched a show on Netflix last night that was very up my alley. If you like a program called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, consider checking out. Dude, I think we definitely want Charmhorn. I probably won't use it to steal a key, but we can use it to steal Nod Key. Consider checking out the 32-minute Netflix comedy special, Frankenstein's Monster, Frankenstein. I know that what I just said is going to sound ridiculous. It's a tough thing to explain. You know, Detective Jim Hopper from Stranger Things? He plays a fictionalized version of himself, who is obviously an actor, and he's examining, you know, his relationship with his father, who is also an actor, fictionally, if that makes... He's kind of like an Orson Welles type of guy. And his father made a play called Frankenstein's Monster Frankenstein. Is 32 minutes long. I don't know if there's a funny moment in the entire thing, and that's kind of what makes it hilarious. It's like, it's very anti-comedy, in like a way that is like a little bit hipster for sure, but also like just sort of, it's amusing, let's put it that way. And my favorite part about it is literally a half hour long. It's so nice. And don't get me wrong, television these days is so much better than it was when I was like 14, you know? When I was 16 even. The best show on television when I was 16 years old was Arrested Development. And Arrested Development is a great show, at least for those first 3 seasons, don't get me wrong. However, it was so far ahead of everything else on TV. People were like, if you're not watching this, you know, you screwed something up. Now there's so many good shows on TV. You're like, well, yeah, I hear Fleabag's amazing, but I don't really want to log into Amazon Prime Video on my phone. You know, we're spoiled for choice. But the only downside, the only downside is that in the modern era, people are like, oh, dude, I got this great recommendation for something you should watch. And you're like, oh, yeah, what is it? And you're like, oh, it's 40 episodes of a television show. You're like, ah, that's a big time investment, dude, because I got 75 other shows I'm supposed to be watching right now. Help. And again, don't take it, it's a very positive thing. We're spoiled for choice, as mentioned. I don't understand people who... I mean, I do think there are mediums that I definitely preferred in the era where I was like a teenager. Like, I'll admit, I think music was better when I was a teenager. But I also recognize that my opinion is steeped in ignorance, because I haven't heard new music since like the year 2010. So it's not, it's an opinion that I hold as ignorant. And you might say, why not strive to, you know, remove that ignorance? Well, the idea that you could remove yourself from ignorance is uniquely a young person's game. I got bills to pay. What you do at this point is you just accept your ignorance, and the best case scenario is that you at least acknowledge it where it stands. So I'm gonna buy a key. I'm gonna open this. It's the BFG, which is the BSG. No. We'll also buy Charmed Horn. But I just want to see where we shake out first. You know what I mean? It's more of a room clearer, isn't it? Like, the damage it's doing is definitely not bad. However, is also not that good. I think we're maybe better off. We might have more DPS on a single target by using Robot's right hand. But I think the BSG is an awesome room clearer. Just unfortunate that's not really relevant to our concerns right now. But it will be very relevant to our concerns when we go to the rat floor. There's no doubt about that. I mean, probably a good item to use on the rat fight as well. I don't know, I might be underthinking my position here. But you know, you gotta be careful because it's hard to explain this to someone that maybe is, you know, 20 years old. I wouldn't have believed you if you had said this to me when I was 20. But you know, you ever hear like your parents or grandparents say, like, I get that I look like old as dirt on the outside, but on the inside I'm still like, you know, 22 years old. It's kind of the way I feel. Is like, I'm stunned by like the fact that, you know, as I get older, my opinions change, of course, but simultaneously, I also, you know, I feel the same as I did when I was, you know, 16 or 17 years old to some extent. That's why I take it as a great betrayal when people that are my age are like, you know, the upcoming generation, they don't know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, we're too young to be that old. You just gotta relax yourself a little bit. I mean, yeah, occasionally I'll be like, shut up, Zoomer. But, like, you know, it's mostly from a place of, like, mutual respect, I hope. Okay, we want Charmed Horn. I don't think we want to steal anything else. We definitely should give this guy some HP for money. Then we'll move on to the next floor. But, like, if anybody my age, you know, let's say 29 to 31, just to be symmetrical, if they think TV was better when we were teenagers than it is now, you guys have to, like, start paying attention. Or at least acknowledge your wrongness. You know what the most popular show was when I was 16? The OC. And then, of course, all of the CSI Miamis. Like, you know, Frasier won, like, 22 Emmys a year for 10 years or something like that? That was the height of entertainment in the 1990s on television. I got nothing against Frasier. If anything, I am Frasier's target audience, probably. It also did come from an era where people were like, oh, Frasier, he ordered a macchiato like the snob he is. Nowadays, everybody's like, yeah, can I get an orange creamsicle vanilla macchiato, 3 pumps. Here's my impression of a millennial. I'll take a coffee that tastes good, please. What do you order, boomer? Brown sour water, please. Just serve me a 7-Eleven drip coffee out of an old tuna can, and I'm happy. What am I even talking about? You know, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I sincerely do not. Ooh, I didn't see you there. You got in my blind spot. Thing is, I was just moving around to his blind spot. Cairo Cedro. There are mediums that I definitely feel have gotten a lot better. You know, I feel like, I can't say that that's true for games. I don't know whether it's true or false. I think it is a matter of personal preference. But I do try to fight back against the idea that the gaming industry has gotten demonstrably worse. I think it's just too seductive of an opinion to fall into, and I very much disagree with it. Anytime you find yourself falling victim to the idea that, you know, oh, things were better when I was 10, just remember how dumb the average 10-year-old is, and then remember that you were probably basically that dumb when you were 10 years old as well. And then be like, should I really trust this guy's opinion? Hold on. Malware Bytes would like to install a new and improved version. That's fine. Not yet, please. Maybe after the show. Teapot Sling not key. I mean, okay, that's fine. Windows has done a threat analysis and has discovered there are no threats. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no need to get them. So I think games have been very, very good over the past few years. I think some of the best games of all time from an indie game context and a AAA context have come out over the past few years. I'm not even talking about going back to like 2012. I'm talking about like since 2016. There's a lot. When I think of like the worst era for AAA video games, I don't think about now, for the record. I think every generation has its own unique constraints. Like now people are talking about, you know, the death of the single-player game. It's unprofitable to make single-player games. I mean, that might be true, but we still had some amazing single-player games come out. God of War, Spider-Man. You know, the Resident Evil 2 remaster. There's Sekiro. You know, you'd probably name more, but that's not that bad for just coming off the top of the dome piece, I feel. But when I was, you know, in my early 20s, every AAA game was a first-person shooter with a gimmick. Like, we'll call it like either the Call of Duty or the Halo principle. Those games changed the dynamics so much that literally every AAA game was like, what if it was like a Halo, but you could travel back in time for 15 seconds? What if it was Halo, but you can also have a kick button? Oh, that hurt. That's Bulletstorm. Dude, I'm horrible? Never mind, I'm awesome. This is not gonna be a good use of my financial situation, I guess. Well, you know, blue chest. What are you? Flak bullets? Flak bullets. I think that's totally fine. So I actually feel like we're in a much better state, as at least my 2 cents right now. I mean, we don't need to go into it too much. I just, I'm always wary of people who think, you know, that humanity, or at least like media, is on an endless, like, this year is always worse than last year, which was always worse. The only good year for video games was 1993, the first year I played video games. After that, it's just been a downward trend ever since. You know, I'm always wary of that. I find it is like too self-serving. You know, if you look for that, pardon me, if you look for that sort of narrative, I think you're gonna find it, is what I'm getting at. You know, it's always easy to find garbage. You know how many garbage games came out for the Super Nintendo? I mean, if you even want to get more recent, you know how many garbage games came out for the freaking Wii? Lots of garbage. Okay. Decent Charm Torn. Ah, you stupid idiot. ×2. Okay. Dude, I'm telling you, I definitely need, like, an actual boss killer. And I might be overlooking BSG, but we have nothing to fear except fear itself right now. Just because we don't get the flawless here, it doesn't make an enormous difference as long as we're, you know, fine on HP by the... I mean, even 1.5 HP for the 3rd floor is certainly not at the level you'd call, like, the kiss of death. Yo, okay. A huge room clearer. That is very nice. This has not been a landmark floor for us. Let's move along here. And it's not to say, by the way, sometimes people take that as like, oh, so it's illegal to be critical now? Not the case whatsoever. You know, to have a critical opinion is not, I mean, it's obviously not illegal. Like, what are you talking about? But, like, it's not even necessarily a bad thing. I just think when you filter... I mean, we all know these kinds of people in our lives, I'm assuming. You know, it's the kind of person that's like, hey, I got a free meal for my birthday. Yeah, but it was at Red Robin. Yeah, but I got something off the skinny menu. Yeah, but it probably didn't taste as good as the burger. Well, actually, it tasted better than a burger. Yeah, but it probably didn't taste as good as the best burger you've ever had. Yeah, well, it did taste as good as the best burger I've ever had. Yeah, well, the dressing uses powdered ranch. You know, it's just, no matter, dude, we're extremely cursed. You know, the kind of person that just, they'll find a way to turn any positive situation into a negative, you know? They're always finding the dark cloud around the silver lining, or vice versa, I should say. Hold on, we got 217. We do have to be a little wary about, our curse level. We're very wealthy here. I don't think we need the teapot. I think we're stoked to get the sling, though. And if I made a major mistake on this floor, and I think it's conceivable that I did, we should have used our money to buy the sling before the boss fight. I think that would have been actually very, very prudent for us. We got a very interesting series of passive synergies going on here. I just caution you against that, because, like... You know, that thinking, the negativity stuff, I think it's why, is one of the reasons people are a little anxious about getting older, is the idea that, like, you know, when you think of, like, a caricature of an elderly person, it's like, oh, the kids with their damn Heelys, you know? I mean, I don't think you should be going in a public place with your Heelys either, mostly because, you know, I'm not worried you're going to run into somebody. You could crack your own head open, you know? Wouldn't recommend. We are watching for the rat room, by the way. Like, if anything, oh, you dumb fool. If anything, I'm here to hold the younger generation to task. Because people are like, ah, old people are so grumpy. And I'm like, dude, I spend all day in Twitch chat. Where if you're like, you know, hey, Radiohead's a good band. Like, 100 people are like, yeah, well, they used to be better. Well, I don't know. Oh, radio. Oh, hey, look, somebody browses /moo. You know, like, the grumpiest people that I interact with on a daily basis are gamers. Now, I love them, notwithstanding, but sometimes I go like, hey, you know, I think we would all be happier if we slowed our roll on the grumpiness. Yeah, the game's good, but they're trying to sell you horse armor. Now, oh, it's right here. Easy. So we will definitely finish the floor. I think we do have an extremely rat-killable run, but might as well go for broke. Ring of Ethereal Form probably also allows stealing, but I think Charm Torn is, I don't know, better. Maybe not, but I think it is. I'll use, the idiom, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't there. Anyway, none of this had anything to do with Gungeon, essentially, whatsoever. Always gotta pet the dog, even if you do have a creepy head. Remember, dude, Plasma Cutter's pretty good, but certainly I think Big Head mode is like, is maybe one of the easiest room clearers, because all you do is walk into the room, dodge, and hold left mouse. You might say that's every gun in Gungeon. Wrong. Some rooms you walk into the room, dodge, and click left mouse, and that's like a much higher degree of difficulty. Anyway, I'm having a good July, in spite of my illness. You know, I didn't even talk about it, so you know it's getting better. I woke up feeling pretty good this morning, and I was like, I might even go to the gym, but then I had like a little, like I listened to myself breathing, and I was like, if I heard somebody like this at the gym breathing, I would be like, come on, dude. Please don't come to the gym when you're ill. You're going to get everybody else ill. And I was like, you know what? Me from another life? You're absolutely right. It would be not responsible of me to inflict my... even if I think I'm not contagious. It had to be done. Like, honestly, I hate to use a blank there, but I didn't think there would be a second wave here, and I really wanted to make sure we got a return on our investments, so we still have 2 blanks. Oh, thank God we got the charmed bow after all that. Can I have my blank back, please? What about the synergy between charmed bow, I mean, and charmed horn? Yeah, what about the synergy between garbage juice and garbage solids? It makes super garbage. The garbage that can't be stopped. Don't take this as being too complainatory, though, because, like... Oh, hello. I mean, we're in a great position, for sure. For certain. Now, I don't really... Not cursed. I could have stolen, but there's not much point to stealing... an item we can afford once we already have the nod key. And if we don't actively want to make our curse higher, and for now we definitely do not actively want to make our curse higher. I still think we've got a little bit of room to grow if we have to as far as curse goes, but given the choice, no more blanks can be used. Given the choice, we would probably prefer to, you know, minimize unnecessary curse, or curse picked up for bad reasons, like, I wanted a key, but I didn't want to pay for it even though I had the money. Actually, some of the strongest, most mature dodges I've ever made against the Treadnought, to dodge temporarily back into the den of the beast. Have confidence in your left-right movement. Feeling pretty good, honestly. Much better than we did against the Beholster, unfortunately, because the Beholster is much easier. Now, I mean, you know me. I love the light hexagon. I think straight up, let's not get rid of the bow, because it actually synergizes with the sling. I don't know if maybe it synergizes in a bad way, or a way that's not that good, but let's get rid of our guns that, to be honest, we will never use, and see where we go from there. A gun we will never use. I don't even think, I mean, we could buy half a heart. I don't think we need to. I think we just head down, apply directly to forehead. That's head on, but... I'm free? I'm free. Okay. So, for the rat floor specifically, I do think against the boss, it'll be a little, maybe not a little touchy. That's probably not apt or accurate, but I don't think we have amazing boss killers. I think we have adequate boss killers. Sling is probably beyond adequate, but not for the rat, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So I think BSG should be totally fine down here. I hate to use... Oh, never mind. I don't mind. That was very bad. Up, right. This is more along the lines of what I think is going to be okay for us here. It's up, right. We want a room with few enemies, but enemies that don't respawn, ideally. Or spawn other enemies in the process. Charge time on BSG is very high. But I guess the good thing about it is that, you know, if you have one... Let me rephrase, there's a better rule that you can use. We can distill it down to its first principles. You only have to shoot as many times as to equal the HP of the tankiest enemy in the room. So if you have one jammed enemy on the room, you might need to shoot 3 times. If you have 1,000 jammed enemies on the room, you have to shoot 3 times. Thank you, dog. I tried to pet him, but I'm holding a Area 51 experimental weapon project right now. Easy. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. Stone Dome. We could definitely take red ammo there. It doesn't really matter too much here. I'm just trying to think. I still think the sling is probably better than like any other gun for this, but because the sling requires charging, I do want to see how hexagun works. I just like look at the HP. I actually think that's usable. It might seem a little bit less valuable than the like even the plasma cutter, for example. And I actually think that's a pretty fair assessment. So toss me the plasma cutter. And I think, like, I'm just more confident using the sling on phase 2 once I feel like I can charge, basically. Right, we don't have to worry about the poison as much. Definitely that. We'll just blank. Well, I was just gonna say, hate this. Alright. I don't know if you should spend your time in that doorway, but I think that is totally fine for us. And still got 1 blank remaining. Now we can pretty much, in my opinion, just focus on the fact that, you know, we want to get 6 keys again. The fact that we got 6 keys once is kind of spectacular to me to begin with. I don't expect to get it again, though I will try. But, you know, it's the kind of thing, you gotta make yourself, you know, how does your body get stronger? You gotta force yourself to lift heavier weights, you know, bit by bit. You ever hear the, I forget the exact idiom or whatever, it's not an idiom, but, you know, it's, you know, if you start by putting a single rock in your hand and then, you know, every week you add another rock, your strength will grow in proportion to the load you're required to lift, you know. Obviously, it's not scientifically 100% infallible, but I feel like if you let yourself get too comfortable, and that this goes for, you know, learning new skills as well as playing video games, but if you let yourself get too comfortable, you run the risk of no longer growing anymore. And it can be nice to take a little time off from a growth focus, but if you actually want to possess, you know, the skill that you're trying to get to, sometimes you gotta force yourself into discomfort. Like, I firmly believe if we had never gone for 6 keys, we would never lose on Punch-Out again. Because we're going for 6 keys, we'll probably lose on occasion, or at least look like we're gonna lose on occasion. There's 1. Okay, that's fine. At least you blocked. Again. No. Okay. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. He's got HP. So bad. Okay, focus. 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 This is the hard phase. Work with me. Work with me. Okay, we worked ourselves out of a jam there. Good stuff. Good stuff. You can get him a little lower. Very ballsy. And got the job done. No! Okay, we can't get it. We're gonna have to settle for 5. I hate the cut and run on that one, but it basically had to be done. With the amount of HP he had, there was nothing we could do, dude. But look at this. We're still practicing our counters. We didn't have to go for it there, obviously. But I thought, you know what? As long as we're learning, it's good. And I still believe that. As long as we're learning, it's good. Came pretty close. We were not far off from the 6 keys there. That was still a good learning experience. I'm not trying to spin a negative into a positive. I think that's like, it's a positive, it's just not as much of a positive as last time. It's only a negative in relativity. I don't care about the bracket key. I'm scared about curse, honestly. So we have 5 keys. I mean, you know the deal at this point. Oh, we have 2 mimics. That rules. Please shoot. Please shoot. There we go. We get the boots, or we get the cheese. We get the rat transformation. We still have 3 keys left. This is a little bit on the absurd side. So this will pop in here, and, you know, definitely do not need the Dungeon Eagle. You can take that. Definitely do not need the Guan Stones. I would rather give up the Guan Stones than give up junk, honestly. And I think this time, I will use the shortcut. It's not out of haste, but if you've got an extra key, why not? That's my opinion here. Why not? I don't think I need an excuse to do this time. We're in a very, very good spot. I mean, HP is not delicate, but I mean, I would like to have one more flawless, but I think we definitely would look at this as being like, yeah, we're pretty much, if not in the clear, pretty darn close. And the Raiden coil is just unbelievably strong. I feel like this is from, and this is my own perception, maybe not the perception of the community at large, but this is one of those guns that, and it happens in Isaac all the time, but one of those guns that was like really, really good and well-liked before, oh, that was really bad. The DLC came out that revealed a bunch of new items. And then now people are like, ah, it's just the same old Raiden coil. It's not that good. And now I'm like, dude, wrong. It's amazing. Look at this. It's a mimic, brother. But then again, maybe absolutely nobody was saying that this gun is not that good. Maybe that was just the perception in my head. But it's the same in Isaac. You're like, you know, when new items come out, you're like, hey, dude. Who needs Brimstone? Angry Fly exists. This has been one of the fastest, like, finishes on this run I've ever seen. So Charmed Horn essentially does nothing here. So you might as well just tunnel vision on this cheese, my man. After Raiden Coil, we will probably go to Plasma Cutter. Be ready to blank, by the way. Plasma Cutter DPS, I'll admit, I underrated it at the start of this, well, like, basically at the start of the rat fight. Probably for the same reason, actually, that I'm like, you know, I think people might undervalue the Raiden Coil. Exclusively because of the fact that it's old. So far, I mean, obviously, Phase 1 went totally fine. We're definitely at the point where... maybe not if we get hit at all. But if we get hit, like, 2 times or 3 times on Phase 1, something's gone, like, terribly wrong. Always nice when you can start with a big 30 spot on Resourceful Sack as well. Now, when we run out of Plasma Cutter ammo, make no mistake, we will run out of Plasma Cutter ammo, I think. Next best bet, I don't know. There's Sling, but it does require a little bit of active focus just because of the charge. It's not a big deal, but it's maybe modestly suboptimal. I know you're like, how did he not get hit there? I don't know, you know? I don't have a good answer for your question, to be honest. Hexagun exists. I mean, BSG is a decent item defensively as well. It's just a little bit too slow, I think, to be persistently viable. Meanwhile, I'm using Hexagun to kill one of the hardest bosses in the game, so what do I know about viability? I can't believe that's the first time we got hit. Honestly, should I have been hit there? Maybe not. But the fact that it took me that long to get hit, I think tells you what you need to know. You know, this has been a very strong fight for us. This is the wrong gun. You know, we might be coming close to the end of the fight, but it is worth acknowledging this is not the right gun. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. Even if, you know, it's not going to be catastrophic. We should endeavor to fix it. He died the Heart of Ice, which is a little bit needlessly reductive, but also kind of hilarious. Another very good run. Pretty close to a 5-star, or sorry, a 6-key performance against the Rat. Didn't quite get there, but... either way. We're building like a really good advanced Dragon case, honestly. Like we're kind of on a streak. I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I know I talked about Gungeon ending soon. How can you end the game you're having so much darn fun with? Also, I don't have a better option to put in a slot for now, so just enjoy it, you know? Like Clementine Krasinski said, on the first day of her relationship with Joel Barish in 2004, Spike Jones, not Spike Jones, Michelle Gondry, Charlie Kaufman, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. What can we do? Just enjoy it. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!